which is a tag that just kind of talks about like how you decided to read a book. So I'm really excited to do that because I have a lot of like weird reasons that I've decided to read books. So I hope you enjoy. It's been a minute since I've done a tag. It's been a long minute since I've done a tag. I'm pretty sure the last one I did was the anti-TBR tag, which is like a year ago maybe. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy. The first question on the tag is a book you bought for the cover, which would be Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I think the cover for this book is beautiful, and I really love that I got this edition of it because it has this inside art, which is also absolutely incredible, and I think the entire like style of the book is very, very pretty. So when I saw that, I was gonna read it probably anyways, but when I saw it, I was like, no, that's now. That's everything else can wait because look at that cover. So I was so excited to read this, and it was good. I loved it. I read it in 2020 when I was first getting back into reading, and it's one of the major reasons I actually did get back into reading, so I love this book. The next book on the list of courtship tags is a book you got because of the summary, and instantly I knew that would be Gideon the Ninth. I literally only got this book because I read this bottom part, which is Lesbian Necromancers explore a haunted gothic palace in space. And I thought, yeah, that sounds incredible actually. So I bought it, and it is now my favorite book of all time, obviously, because I have it tattooed on me. So it's permanently my favorite book of all time, and I have no problems with that. I recently annotated it as well. As you can see, there's a lot of highlighting, but I annotated it for a friend of mine who's also going to be reading it, and I'm so excited that they're going to be reading it, and so thankful that they chose a book that I love so much to read. But yeah, so I chose this book because of the summary, and it did not disappoint. It is so good. If you enjoy sci-fi, LGBTQ plus fiction, anything like that, I highly, highly recommend Gideon the Ninth. So the next item on the tag is a book with really good writing, and that is a book that I'm going to give that I'm reading currently, which is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I think this book has brilliant writing. I think the descriptions are really good. I think it's easy to understand, but still like descriptive enough and like into the world enough that you have to question things, and I just find it really, really good. I heard from a lot of people that the writing was very difficult to understand, but I don't really find it difficult at all for me, and that's someone who has ADHD and dyslexia, so I really enjoy this book. If you're a fan of fantasy, medieval fantasy, dragons, really intense, amazing characters, I highly suggest this book. I read a bit this morning, but I'm only 234 pages through, and I can already tell that this is going to be a series that I absolutely adore. I love the show, so I was expecting to love this too. The item on the list is a book that made you want to read the rest of the series, and that would be Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I really enjoyed the first book. I heard a lot of people didn't. I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good introduction to the characters, but after reading the second and third book, I realized why people said that it wasn't as good as the rest of the series, because the rest of the series is absolutely incredible. The character work in Red Rising was obviously in need of some work. I think this was one of Pierce Brown's first published books, but for one of his first published books, this book is really good, and the rest of the series is absolutely incredible, and I think just read it. Like, just read it. It's a space opera. It starts out kind of Hunger Games style, and then it becomes a space opera with tons of cool stuff, so read it. The next on the list is a book that kept me up all night, which would be Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, immediately following Red Rising, which I find kind of funny. But this book, I had to stay up until 4 in the morning to finish this because the ending absolutely destroyed me, and goddamn, like, I was exhausted by the time I finished this book, and then I was in tears. It is so worth it to stop and read this book. Like, after you read Red Rising, pick up Golden Sun. You're not going to want to read Morningstar after reading this ending. But this book kept me up all night, and god damn it. It was so good. It was so, so good. and I love this book. I love it so much. So obviously I recommend it. So the next item is a book you can't stop thinking about, and I am once again going to say Gideon the Ninth. I really am attached to this book. Obviously, again, I have a tattoo of it, and like, these books are really important to me. So both Gideon the Ninth and Harrow the Ninth are really good books that I can't stop thinking about because they're so complex and full of mystery. Harrow the Ninth would be more specific for this one because Harrow leaves a lot more questions than answers as compared to Gideon, but I highly suggest the series. I think you should read both of them. I am so excited for Nona the Ninth, which is coming out in August, I think. So that'll definitely be on my most anticipated books of 2022 video, which I'm hoping to do sometime this week. So yeah, read both of these. A book that physically feels good. This was a bit of a weird one, but I chose this copy of The Picture of Dorian Gray. I really like this copy. It's kind of like a plasticky leather kind of feel. It's almost hardcover, but it's not quite. And I really like the sturdiness of it, but at the same time, it's not as annoying as hardcover books are for me. I don't really like hardcover all that much unless it's for display. So, and also just this is so pretty to me. And it's just really good art, really good texture, and easy to hold. Like, it's just a really good copy of the book, and I really like how it looks on the shelf. So yeah, I need to reread this one soon actually. I wanted to annotate it. Next one is a book that I would recommend to my parents. My parents and I don't have the same taste in books at all, so I don't really have any that I would recommend to my parents, except I think my mom has started the Game of Thrones series. I don't know if she's finished it. I don't think she has, but I did actually give her a book that I was reading over Christmas because it's more her thing, and I really liked it, but I felt like she would really get something out of it. She always wanted to be a drug addiction counselor, so this book had a lot to do with drug addiction and kind of how LSD became a huge thing in the 60s. So I gave that book to her because it's one of her really big interests. I thought it was really good too, but I think it was just something that she would love. So if I can remember what that book is called, I will put that on the screen. So a book that has me thinking about the future, I don't have a physical copy of, but it would definitely be Stephen King's On Writing. I recently started pouring my heart and soul into writing the book that I want to write, and I've been listening to his audiobook and just kind of taking bits and pieces from that and applying it to my experience, and it's just been really interesting to see how he processes and does his writing versus how I do it, and taking tips from him and understanding how difficult it is to write a book. So I've really been thinking a lot about that book lately, and I've been listening to it a lot, and it means a lot to me right now. So yeah, it's got me thinking about the future because I really want to be an author. And that does it for the book Courtship tag. I really hope you enjoyed this little random video. I didn't really have a reason for doing it. I just kind of wanted to talk about some books, and that was really fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I've entertained you somehow, and it'd be cool if you stuck around. So you can subscribe or like or do whatever you want, honestly. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye.